If you treat all runs like a challenge, you won't win all of them, but if you treat every single run that you go on like an adventure, you can't lose. Hello. If you treat every single run like it's a challenge, like it's a fitness goal that you need to achieve, the chances are you're going to lose. You're not going to lose in all of them, some of them you're going to win, and the more you run, the more chances you're going to win more of the challenges. However, if you decide to look at running in a little bit of a different light, when you begin to run, you might find that being a bit more adventurous can make your running much more enjoyable. So, again, as I said before, if you treat all runs like a challenge, you won't win all of them, but if you treat every single run that you go on like an adventure, you can't lose. What do I mean about this? And why is this relevant for the first time runner? We want to run, or we like the idea of running because we might have seen that someone has achieved a certain 5k goal or a 10k goal. And the first thing is, when we start to run, we start looking at ourselves and asking questions, what is a good 5k time? What is a good marathon time? What is a good any sort of time? Because we like to figure out where we are in the certain scheme of fitness levels. And there is a fantastic opportunity to understand metrics. Because if you are going to improve on something, you need to know where you currently are. So most of the time we hear runners will start out, if they have a coach, they'll try to figure out where they are very early on in their training to figure out where the fastest 1k, 5k or 10k might be, so that if they give them a plan and then they execute the plan, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks from now, they can look back at that plan and say to themselves, oh yes, clearly I see that I've got faster or stronger, or I'm just actually more comfortable at doing the distance that I originally wanted to go for. But again, why here am I talking about the adventure? Well, the idea is that for a long time in my own running career, I mean, I'd never had a career, but what I mean is when I used to run a lot more competitively on the track, 400, 800 and 1500 meter runner, I was a very, what I would call a journeyman style runner. I wasn't very good, but I was good enough to make sure that I was maybe the fastest person in my class and one of the fastest in the county that I was in at that time. But now, the more I've run and the more I feel that maybe the natural ability of the running that I've had has then made me question, why do I run? In the end, am I going to remember my fastest 5k or my fastest 10k? I hope when I think back actually one or two of those fast efforts that I put in a big training for, I'm going to remember. But the older I've got and the more adventures I've run, I've started to realise that the journeys that I go on, where my legs take me to see new things and experience new types of challenges in different environments, these are the runs or the adventures that I've learned to enjoy much more. And coming back, why is this valuable for the first time runner? Because more often than not, we'll find people who want to start running, and especially in this time where we're going through pandemics and we have coronavirus issues all over the world, a lot of people are trying to replace their gym-based workouts with outdoor workouts, and they're trying to run. However, when you're coming back from a gym-based workouts that you've been doing, you might have been in a program where you're executing workouts day in, day out, and you're hitting your exact same numbers. But if you weren't a runner, I know you're going to go outside, you're again trying to say to yourself, I want to compete at the same level on an outside area. But if you're not experienced with this, then you need to actually tone things down and get used to running, and you get used to comfort running, and get used to enjoying running. So what I'm trying to say here is, it doesn't always mean that you need to go out and try to hit a specific goal in your run. Change your goals up to more adventures. So for example, when you leave your house today, look at a map, maybe decide to go north on Monday. The next time you go for a run, go west. Next time you go for a run, south. Next time you run, go east. Or try to go to maybe that estate nearby that you've never been to, or go to that park, or even go to a park and say, today I'm going to make my run based around me finding deer in a local park. It does sound a little bit simple, this idea. And yes, if you are trying to be a runner who wants to improve a specific time or goal or a distance, this strategy is necessary for you, because if you have a specific goal in mind regarding time, you're probably feeling a little bit more motivated than a runner who is not. So if you're not focused on actually saying to yourself that I want to achieve some sort of specific metric, start saying to yourself that I want to be more adventurous. I'm going to explore things, I'm going to experience things in my run, because when the goal is experience, you tend to slow down, you tend to put your head up, you start to look around and you start to take in much more of what's going on around you. And if you can do that, you can learn to get more comfortable with running. And then once you get that comfort running over a 4 week, 6 week, 8 week period, then eventually there probably will be some part of your brain which will say, do you know what? I'm enjoying this comfort level of running, but maybe it's time for me now to say, what can I do with these legs that I have? What can I do with this new aerobic engine that I've created in my body? If I wanted to go faster, is it possible? And now that you've had this adventurous, comfortable base in your body, it can help you become a better overall runner. And the last thing we'll add into this here also is, if you go out with the idea of being an adventurous runner, exploring places, seeing things, seeing your neighborhood, seeing what's going on around you, the chances are you're not going to be running as fast as you possibly can. If you're new to running and you're not moving as fast as possibly you can, the chances are you're going to reduce the possibility of you getting injuries early on in your run. And that's why you'll find that some of the most professional runners around the world, these ultra runners who do big, huge volumes and distances, when they're not doing any of their speed or their strength work, they're doing their best to be adventurous and creating slow base training plans where they run nice and slow, the heart rate's nice and low, and they're going around and just looking at what's going on around them. Adventure is good.